Hi everyone, Dr. Z here. I wanted to take a moment and get on here and share with you a book that I just finished reading that I think is going to be very, very informative and very helpful to a lot of you. Before I start, let me say that this is not a promotional video. I mean, of course it is promotional because I'm talking about a book that I just read and I loved, but it's not promotional in a sense that I benefit from talking about it at all. In fact, if I ever share anything with you guys at all, it's because I truly believe in it and not because I'm in some kind of relationship with the person who wrote it. The book that I'm talking about is Sidhbh Gallagher's recent publication, Affirmed. Now, Sidhbh Gallagher is a medical doctor in Florida, and she's specializing in gender-affirming surgeries. And she's very, very good at what she does. And she recently published this book, and I picked it up, and I just finished reading this book. Now, let me tell you why I think this book is so important, and I think this book is going to be really helpful to you. Reason number one, when you are planning to have any kind of gender surgeries, and this book covers transmasculine, transfeminine, and non-binary types of gender-affirming surgeries. If you are planning on surgeries being part of your transition, it is always, always imperative to get realistic information about potential issues that may come up, how surgery is actually performed, how it is actually done from a medical doctor. Now, I know a lot of us tend to go to internet, which is fine, but there's a problem with the internet. A lot of times you will get inaccurate information, or you will get YouTubers who are talking about their personal experiences. Nothing wrong with talking about your personal experience, and that can be helpful to a lot of you, but they're just personal experience. They're only relatable to that person. And you're different. In fact, everybody's different. And how everybody's going to go through surgery is going to be different for them. For this reason, books like this are incredibly important. You may say right now, well, I may get all this information from talking with my doctor. You may, and you also may not. Let me explain. A lot of times I have clients who they meet with a doctor, they talk about surgery, and then they forget to ask something important, or they forget to ask about particular surgical risk or benefits. And then they have a hard time maybe getting back in touch with their doctor, or time lapses and they forget again. Or a lot of times people are not planning their surgeries, especially surgeries they really want, because they heard a rumor, they heard a myth out there on social media or in their circle, and as a result they're thinking they're going to have exact the same risks or the same type of complications arising out of a surgery, and they're letting that fear holding them on really trying to get closer to their goals, again, if surgery is part of your transition. For this reason, having books like this that are explaining from a medical, that written first of all by a medical professional and has other medical professionals who contribute to the book, who are talking about not only surgery and what they entail, but also potential risks, can be a very important part of your preparation for the surgery you're planning to have. Now, here's number two reason that I love this book. There's sure other books on the market, and by far the number of them is incredibly small. The two books that I have that are talking about transgender surgery are these books right here, published by Drawbridge Press. The problem with this book is that this book is aimed at medical providers like myself. It's aimed at other professionals who work in the field. It is dense. It is written in a language that is a lot of times is medicalized. In other words, it is not something that is easy to read through. Another book that I have that also out there in the market and also aimed at medical providers or any kind of providers working in the field is this book right here, published by a different publisher, Humana Press. Again, the same issue. Now, this one is equally as dense. Both of them have pictures of before and after to explain what kind of surgical procedures people get and what they look like. Again, the problem with this is that it's reading for professionals who are accustomed to not only reading medicalized jargon and medicalized language, but also accustomed to looking at a lot of research that is cited in the end of a text. So it's geared toward a particular type of reader. Now, if you're the type of person who loves these types of books and planning to have surgery, by all means. The reality is that majority of us do not want nor need to sit through such dense type of material. What I love about this book is Sid did a great job of breaking it down into very accessible language. It is written directly for the audience, with audience being in mind, being you, being the gender diverse community, being people who are going to be getting the surgeries. And she does a great job of explaining potential risks that may arise. She also does a great job, and I'm going to show you guys some pictures. Keep in mind, this is graphic content, so it is going to be graphic. There's going to be nudity, and it is going to be, well, it's going to be maybe feel a little bit distressing. So let me pull up some pictures. So she does a great job of having photographs throughout the book. And this is less graphic in a sense of what's really happening. And then does a really, really good job of pointing out how the procedure is actually performed. More graphic warning. How procedure is performed, what happens during the procedure, how are things happening, as opposed not only for top surgery, but bottom surgical procedures as well. So I have read this book in a sitting. I mean, literally, I just sat down. It's a quick read in the sense that it is broken down, it is accessible, it is explainable. I mean, it's not a quick read, of course, because it's also a lot of information, but I speed read really fast. So for me, it was a quick read. But it is great. It explains so many things. On top of that, it also taught me things I was not aware of. So if you are thinking about getting any kind of gender-affirming surgeries, and you want to be better prepared. And in my opinion, information gives you that better preparation, because knowing something can help you really understand not only what you're going to go through, but what potentially may happen. I would highly recommend this book, because I have yet to see a book out there on the market that talks about specifically gender-affirming procedures, surgeries in this case, written by a professional, by medical professional, that is written for the public. So highly recommend to pick this book up. It's very informative. So hopefully this was helpful to you. Just wanted to share because I enjoyed this book and I thought was so well done and it's going to help so many of you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Good seeing you all as well. Bye.